There's no candles, there's no prayers, there's no mantras, none of that stuff that witches do, and there's no praying for it. There's no going to God, asking God for none of this stuff. For people who, that's something totally different. The technique has nothing to do with telling you to do any of that. There's nothing more to it than that. There's nothing more to the technique than just being aware of what you want and rewriting what's no longer relevant. Because sometimes you'll write something down that you think you want. Like, I want to go to Paris. I changed my mind. I don't want to go to Paris anymore because I don't feel like learning France. Or I don't think I want a brand new car no more because the value goes down as soon as it goes out the showroom. I think I want a year-old car. Or I don't think I want to buy a truck anymore because I don't want to do physical labor associated with trucks. I don't feel like I don't like flying anyway, so I don't want to fly from New York to Los Angeles. I think I want to do a road trip over there because I don't like flying, whatever. So, so certain things are going to start modifying themselves as you start getting in touch with, as you start getting aware of what you want. And remember something, you never ever write down what you don't want. Never ever a negative. It's always a positive. And you don't do, I wish Johnny would do what I want him to do. I wish Jill would do what I want her to do. No, you don't want somebody else to do something. It's totally oriented on what you want for you. Write it down on that list and keep rereading and re-listening to that list. And that's what the technique basically, on a nutshell, is. It's an overly simplistic thing that you're doing. It's overly simplistic. It's no big deal. But it's a very powerful thing because once you start knowing what you want, once you start knowing what you feel and what you believe and what you want and what's good for you and what you have decided is good for you, and when you set an intention, it will change you and it will motivate you to do the common sense practical stuff that makes you a better person. You will start either lifting weights or running or doing cardiovascular exercises or talking to people more or changing your communication skills or whatever it is that's in the direction of what you're trying to get. In my case, to just tell you some of the things I did, and people who know me and my family knows I did this, I wrote very well. I wrote books. I never published them, but I wrote books. I've done gymnastics. I did backflips. I did swimming. I type extremely fast. I learned how to type fast. I learned how to speak better. I read better. I know how to communicate with people better. And I'm talking about over a period of years. I know how to make myself look better. I know how to modify my diet. I know how to modify my weight. Sometimes I go up, sometimes I go down. Most of the time I go down. I'm too skinny. I know how to do that because all the things that I do, I know how to get practical jobs. I know how to run businesses. Me and Jill, we've run businesses. I know how to do these things. I know how to do network marketing. These are all skills. I know how to do, to some extent, online selling. To some extent. I know how to talk an interviewer into giving me a job, right? A job that I'm not even qualified for. Different things I know how to do. I never wrote down that I wanted to know how to do these things. There was other things that I wrote down, but I did the application of, I know how to walk straight. I did the application because so I can go towards the general direction of what I want on my list. And I have met some very, very interesting, wonderful people in my life. I have traveled to some really interesting places. I've learned some very interesting ideas. And I have some interesting things. I live in a nice 3-bedroom house. I have 2 cars. We have 2 vehicles, not 1, 2. I have this the type of job that I do It's the best of the best company.